And welcome back to White Claw Wednesday, episode number 78, back in the digital studio. Crack open our claws here. How's it going, Ryan?
It is going good, my man. Check out what I got. Little tall
Let me
can
see.
for us.
Oh,
Or for me,
nice.
not really for you, but
Did you get that at JK?
JK, baby.
Nice.
I actually got a funny story, too.
All right, digital cheers.
Digital cheers, brother.
Oh
Man, can never go wrong with a mango, dude.
Nope.
God, so refreshing. I'm getting... I think the tall cans don't hold as much carbonation.
You know that
I'm not getting that much. It's great.
I feel like that's that has something to do with science. That's science.
Yeah, something. You know what? Oh, you know why? Science.
Yeah.
That's why. I'm
Yep.
just gonna start saying that for everything.
Science.
Like your shoe falls. Oh man, yeah, science. Yeah, so I got a funny story. I'm walking in. I just finished work, right, and I'm running back to. I'm running to get some claws from JK, right?
Yeah.
And I go up to the aisle and I'm like, should I get a pack or should I get a tall can? I was like, I'll just go for the tall can because I always get like a pack, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they have all three variety packs. Pretty cool.
Oh.
And
Wow.
get this.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm going up to the register. Some guy comes in behind me, and as I'm like leaving, you know, the cooling section, the little refrigerators to go to the register, he passes me.
Yeah.
I'm checking out, and he comes up behind me, and he's like, "Dude, you got to get these, man. These are better." And they're the Surges.
Oh,
JK's got the Surges, man.
Dang.
And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Dude, I literally have been looking for those for so long. I didn't know they were here."
Uh-huh.
He's like, "Yeah, we'll get him." And I was like, "I'm already here." I wasn't about to go back and kind of
Yeah.
you know.
I'm already standing here.
And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll get him next time, dude. But thanks for showing me." So yeah, kind of crazy. It's been right here this entire time, and I've been
Damn.
going to freaking Target and trying to find him.
So was it a 12 pack or was it an individual that he was getting? Or
It's an individual. Think of like a
Okay.
monster can. That's the size we're talking about right here. Not
Gotcha.
quite a tall can, you know, not the Arizona iced tea,
yeah,
but
but
right
in
there.
between.
Yeah, and it looked good, like the size of it. He's like, "Oh,
Was
you
it-
gotta
was
get
it
it.
that
It's more
dark blue?
alcohol." And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, dark blue, deep blue,
Mhm. Deep blue.
deep blue.
Did it
There's
have a
some
flavor
3D
on
print.
it?
I didn't see the flavor he was holding.
Okay.
I didn't see the
Okay.
flavor.
Yeah,
But I
that
originally
sounds-
thought it wasn't a White Claw. I was like, "Oh yeah, like haha." And then he turns it and it's a Surge, and I was like, "Oh my God, no way!" You know. I thought
Yeah,
he was
'cause
about
I
to
was
throw a
ex-
Truly at me. I'm like, "Get that shit out of here," you know.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was preparing for, like when he said, "Oh, like you started to say, like he said that you
Mhm.
got to try this." I was immediately thinking, like, "Oh, it's probably just some other seltzer," you know?
Yeah. Like the mango carts. Have you
Yeah.
seen that? The mango cart? I guess it's an LA brewery and they're getting big.
Oh yeah, Mango Cart. Mango
Uh-huh.
Cart's is the beer, right? That's a beer though.
It's a brewing company, I think, is the
Well, no, I mean
Mango cart.
the brewing company is Golden Road.
Oh,
Yeah, the brewing company is Golden Road, and their biggest
you go.
beer is the
that makes
Mango
sense.
Cart.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
hmm Yeah, I've had Mango Carts. They're really good. They're only 4% though, so you know.
Oh, really? I went
Yeah,
to
they don't really hit that hard.
I went to Heroes. You know Heroes in Riverside?
Oh yeah,
A little bar and grill. It's not really a grill. It's
little
more of a
little is
restaurant.
not the word to use
Yeah, you're right.
because everything they do there is big.
Well, that's true. Hey, yeah, you're right. I say little in the sense of like it's, I don't know.
It's a local Riverside
joint.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't do little beers. We went out, me and Amanda the other day,
Yeah.
because we've been engaged for a year. Woohoo! On July 5th.
Okay. Nice.
So we went out, and I had a old fashioned, which was pretty good. I don't know, pretty standard.
Yeah.
Old fashioned wasn't, amazing. And
Uh-huh.
then I asked the guy, I'm like, "Do you have anything, that's kind of like a Newcastle?" Because I was really craving a Newcastle for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, Newcastle's what? And I'm like, "It's an amber. It's like a brown ale, I think."
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah,
And
no,
he's
I'm
like,
pretty sure
"Yeah."
you're right.
He's like, "Yeah, we got something like that." And then he brings me out this fat ass liter beer. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Oh, yeah.
Germany,
Yeah, they're
like
huge
full
there.
liter that's heavy.
Yeah.
Your like wrist is hurting as you're holding it up.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, hey, thanks, man. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was pretty hard to finish, but I managed.
You managed, yeah. Okay, now let me ask you this:
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on how long it took for your food to get to you?
Ooh, good question.
Because
It-
that is always the
ooh.
one thing about Heroes for me that is lacking is how long the food takes to come out.
It did take a while. The thing is we got an appetizer. We got their
Oh,
pulled pork. I think it's pulled pork queso.
nice.
Really good, really good. So we were munching on that for a while, though. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was, sipping on my old fashioned, so I didn't even realize. But yeah, now that you say that, it did take a little while. But I just, figured it was because our appetizers were there. But maybe it is. Maybe it does take a while. It's
The portions are huge.
It's really good food. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, not
maybe
only is
that's
it
why
good,
takes a
but it's
while.
also a ton of food, though.
It is a ton of food.
You're getting a lot, and I think that's probably maybe the reason that allows them to like take a little bit longer, because it's like that you know what you're getting. You're getting you're getting a pile of food, and the longer you wait, the more hungry you get. So, but it's a hilarious restaurant because I don't know if you've seen anybody order the nachos,
Yeah, absolutely.
but the nacho platter is just like a mountain.
yeah, yeah,
A mountain of
it's
nachos.
huge. Yeah,
And yeah, last time I was there, I saw this
I think it's in
table.
the appetizers too, which is so.
It
ironic.
is, yeah. It is. I saw this table of I think 4 women, and they were all kind of sitting on their phones,
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever, chatting, whatever. And they had a giant plate of nachos just in the middle of them. And you could tell that they took 3 bites and then just left it this heap of
Terrible.
this mountain of that just sitting
Terrible.
there.
They
And
weren't
I'm
ready.
just,
They weren't ready for it.
They weren't ready, but they definitely took the Snapchat and posted it and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it comes oh my God, that's so cool, and then they take a photo of it, and then it's they
Classic.
have 3 bites. It was hilarious. I mean, I can't blame them though, because it's when you make a meal or an item on your menu that's so astronomically big and looks it's ridiculous. It looks like
And
a mountain
you throw
of
it
nachos.
in the appetizer category.
And you throw it in the appetizer. It's okay. I know that women are into taking photos of their food when the food is impressive. It's just something that
It's a stature thing, really.
It's just the
Who can
21st
get
century.
the biggest, cleanest pile of food on their Snapchat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is
oh wow,
Snapchat
this is
still
really
a food?
pretty.
That's where you post food? Because I remember, dude, this is kind of a funny thing to think about. The evolution of posting food. Originally, it was a full-on Insta post. You posted the food.
Yeah.
Now it's more of a story thing. But even then, it's
Mhm.
not an Insta story. I don't think people post food on Insta stories anymore. Is it just a Snapchat thing?
I feel like it is more Snapchat, but I don't really want to exclude all the other options because there's so many ways to post now that it's
YouTube has stories. Facebook
yeah,
has
YouTube
stories.
has stories. That's what's so crazy about TikTok kind of becoming, well, not kind of, but becoming so big,
Mm-hmm.
and social media is that all the other apps have now introduced a section that is TikTok.
Yeah.
You don't even need to download TikTok or have it on your phone in order to experience TikTok, because like you said, YouTube has the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram also has, I don't know what they're called on Instagram, but you can do the same thing.
Reels, yeah.
The reels, yes.
Absolutely.
I spent 20 minutes flipping through reels a week ago, and
And half of them are TikToks just posted to reels.
reposted exactly. And then I sometimes give Scott a hard time for wasting time on TikTok, and then he sees me going through the Instagram reels, and he's making fun of me. He's like, oh well, TikTok's everywhere now, so you're hating on it, but you're still using it. And then I remember I'm scrolling through the reels, and I say to him, yeah, man, I'm like, YouTube just got it now. And that's where I was I'm on Instagram on my phone looking through the reels, but when I'm talking about it to a friend, I call it YouTube, because I even forgot what I was using like in the moment because it's all
You were on
like,
YouTube
everything's-
Shorts?
No, I was on Instagram Reels, but Scott calls me out, and then I respond by saying, "Yeah, dude, YouTube's got TikToks now." And then after 5 minutes of scrolling, I close out, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I was just on Instagram."
It all meshes, man. It's kind of crazy how I wonder why like TikTok wasn't able to sort of trademark that type of entertainment. I mean, that sounds weird, but like, you know how
Is that even
Snapchat?
possible?
I don't think so because remember
Because
Snapchat's
Instagram stole the stories
exactly.
from Snapchat. Yeah.
Snapchat stories were strictly in Snapchat for so long. I mean, for years it was like that. Then all of a sudden Instagram came out with stories, and I guess everyone was like, "Oh, can we just like copy everything that everybody else does?" And then everyone has stories. Everyone has Reels now or TikToks. It's so funny.
Yeah. Because I remember when the Instagram stories came out, it was sort of like, at first, the general vibe was, oh, man, Instagram's copying Snapchat.
No
like,
way.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
But then now there's way more Instagram stories than Snapchat stories.
true.
Or at least for me there is. Because like,
It's
I could
true.
like...
I
like,
prefer Instagram.
so many stories.
Yeah, dude.
You were just saying that you like the Instagram stories better, though. That's what you were just saying.
I do. Like, I don't go on Snapchat. In fact, I have the setting on my phone where the apps will sort of uninstall when I don't use them for a while. And
Yeah.
Snapchat's been uninstalled for months now. I mean, I don't go on Snapchat anymore. And honestly, I used to prefer Snapchat to Instagram because I prefer just the quick posts that would just go away, you know? But
Yeah.
now Instagram's like taking that to the next level, I think, by combining both the most popular social media app, I think, for our generation, and now you get to have stories. And so Snapchat actually had to change their business model a lot. They're more of like a news thing now, which
That's true.
who would have thought, you know? Like, and there's shows on Snapchat which are just god awful, and the ads they roll are just ridiculous. I mean, some of them, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to get through the show. Like, Dude Perfect has a show on Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, every like 3 taps or every, 3 little 10-second Snapchats from their show, there's another ad. And I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And so that's what really turned me off. The ads were just insane. I mean, it's too much.
Doesn't it feel like the 5 seconds you have to wait for the ad to click away from it? It feels so long.
Well, and the worst part is it's the same freaking ad over and over again. It's like,
it is.
come on.
And also, the other thing that's annoying is you see that the headline that gets you to click on the news story, and you're like, okay, that's what I want to read. But then, like, you have to sit through the first, 2/3 of whatever the thing is that's BS.
Or it's the last thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very last thing. Exactly.
It's the worst. It's absolutely the worst.
And you know what also is weird about Snapchat is the people that are verified on Snapchat. I just wonder, like, wait, why are you verified? I mean, like, there's the obvious ones, like you see like someone like The Weeknd or something, like, oh yeah, that's The Weeknd. But then I see like just random ass people, like I just like names I have never heard of, and they're verified on Snapchat and they're like answering fan questions, and I'm like, who? It must be just like a really like the young generation, like the kids that are still. All under 18 and still like in elementary, middle, and high school. They're the ones who have kind of like taken the whole social media popularity and boosted it in a weird way, in that you can gain a following just by just being attractive and posting all the time, and you get young people to follow you. It's impressive.
It is impressive.
I think that's kind of related to the whole TikTok thing. By the way, have you heard about how black creators have they've boycotted TikTok. They've stopped creating dances for popular songs because they're mad about like people like Addison Rae and all the white hot people stealing black dances and then getting more views and more money off of, stolen dances than the black people who are creating these dances. And
I
apparently this has created a trend where now there's not as many TikTok dances anymore.
Wow, tragic.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my
yeah,
God.
tragic, but it's interesting because it's like it makes sense when you think about it. Like there's that video of Addison Rae doing like a bunch of TikTok dances on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon,
Yeah.
and he's got like signs, and he's like flipping through the signs, and each sign like says a different TikTok
the dance,
song,
and she has
a
to
dance,
perform the dance.
and
yeah.
then she just does it, and and it's
So
just
funny.
the backlash that came on the internet was just so funny about people hating on both Jimmy and her for not crediting the dancers who create the dances, and also just like commenting about how when like seeing a white person do a dance, it just kind of becomes boring and like just lame and just sort of going through the motions and looks really like unoriginal and kind of stupid.
That's when it becomes mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
true. Wow, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
This is why I need to get back on Snapchat apparently, because that would have been all over Snap.
Yeah, see, this is where I have an issue with reading through the Snap news articles. That's unfortunately where I get a lot of my news, and I just can't help it because it's addicting to know to go to the far right of Snapchat and see all these different news stories, all this drama tabloid stuff, and I love the feeling of clicking through it because I'm always like, man, what am I doing? Like what?
Like, yeah, this is my life.
And
this is
I
what
love.
I do.
I'll read something and I'll be like, who the fuck cares? And then I'm reading it and I'll be like, wait, I care. I'm reading it.
Yeah. Or you're like, who is clicking on this? And you're like, wait,
I am. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm the problem.
Yeah. Social media, man, it's going to be so interesting to see how it continues to evolve,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
over the next 10 years. It's like, what is going to come out? And, I didn't think that there was going to be another popular app, like, ever, which is kind of naive to me. I thought Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you had your Reddits, kind of like all these other niche ones. I thought it was complete, but nope. Then TikTok came. So, hey, what's going to come out next? Something crazy. It's like, how do you get funding as a social media startup? It's like you got to convince people you're somehow unique and you have this that's going for you and that's actually going to catch on.
Yeah, and you have something that can become the new thing, like can you come up with something that's going to be copied by everybody, basically?
Exactly.
And the short form entertainment has become the dominant thing, which is why I think TikTok is such a, because Vine was only like 6 or 7 seconds. So almost, I mean, it's dead now. Vine's gone, but it's like, I think TikTok took that and just kind of doubled the time and expanded it just a little bit, but also didn't make it that much longer and that much different. So yeah, I think the attention span of everybody has become very short,
Yeah. TikTok added, things that you can put on screen. They added a bunch of stuff like you can edit backgrounds in and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, but yeah. Dude, so you haven't been following this European tournament for soccer, right?
No, but I've been wanting to like ask you about what's about, because the finals, the final game is coming, right? It's
the final game is Sunday.
Okay, 2 teams
I believe.
left.
Yeah, 2 teams
Is
left.
one of them
as
Italy?
of today. One of them is Italy, and the other one is England. England just beat Denmark today. So it's going to be a crazy final. And I mean, the tournament has been so epic. I mean, so epic. There's been a lot of PKs at the end. So a lot of times it goes into double overtime, and then it's penalty shootout. And
that's how Italy's
game.
game.
Penalty shootout.
That's how Italy's game ended to get them into the finals, right?
Yeah. And they had gone into extra time on a previous game, I believe. Yeah, they went into extra time on one of their knockout games. I can't remember what team they played, but this last PK shootout they had, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Jorginho comes out. He's basically the last player to take the shot, and if he makes this shot, Italy move on. Ice cold, bro. Ice cold. I got to send you it. He basically just trots up, does a little hop.
I saw it on your story, I think.
Yeah, that was the one. Oh, ice cold, man.
It
ice
looked
cold.
so...
It was just so professionally clean.
Yeah.
It was like he was doing it at practice. It was just so... Oh, my God.
That's what's so impressive about a PK is when you get it like he did, it looks so casual for both the goalie and the guy kicking it.
Yeah.
Like it looks like there's just no pressure there. It's just the simple fact of the kicker fooled the goalie into going the complete opposite way that he kicked it.
Yep.
So it just creates like the easy. He was basically just tapping it in. It looks so easy, and he got the guy going the complete opposite way. And it's like, oh fuck, dude.
Well, he does this. He has such a unique run up, and I guarantee that so many other players are going to start copying him now because he's so good at penalty kicks. I mean, he's actually on Chelsea, which is the team that I follow, and he has only missed one, I think, in his entire time at Chelsea, and he's been on it. He's been on the team for 3 or 4 years now, which is just crazy.
Damn.
But yeah, a lot of people hate on PKs. You know, they're like, oh, PKs, or he only scores with PKs or something like that. Ronaldo. People call him Penaldo sometimes because he takes PKs and he scores that way.
Yeah.
But if you've been watching the penalty shootouts this tournament, you know a lot of people are missing PKs. So I think they're awesome. And, just the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
You got to imagine the pressure of being in a penalty shootout and do or die. Like, you don't make this shot, you're going home, basically.
Yeah,
I think that's incredible.
I think penalty kicks are a great way for soccer to set itself apart from other overtimes in other sports.
Yeah.
Just because it's so. I like how it just wipes away everything else except the art of scoring. Just a one-on-one, your best guy versus the goalie. It's just like. Because soccer is a game where it's so hard to score a goal, and games are often tied and often low scoring, that you kind of need that special last ditch effort to like figure out who's the winner. And when you especially when you're dealing with tournaments, because you got like the regular season obviously where you don't need to go into PKs because ties and you can end in a tie, and then I'm pretty sure like certain leagues are based off like how many goals you scored or something like that. Like you could tie a game and still qualify to make it into the playoffs or whatever, just because.
Yeah, there's like hierarchical stuff that ranks teams. Yeah.
So I think it's a great way to, basically establish like, okay, this is like, someone's got to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone has to win.
Well, what they're doing, there's this guy named Arsene Wenger who was the head coach of Arsenal. You've probably heard of Arsenal. They're huge in USA.
They got like the cannon as their symbol, right?
Yeah. They're all right. He is no longer the coach. He's working for FIFA now, which is like the, I don't know, governing body or whatever. They make the rules, stuff like that. He's talking about actually putting in a new rule or editing the offside rule. Now, if you're familiar with what offside is, Frank, it's basically
I remember.
The fact that you cannot be past the defender, the last defender, when a ball is passed to you, right? Or else it's offside.
Which honestly, I mean, it's a rule that I've always understood. I've never been confused by it. But at the same time, I've always been like, man, that's kind of like what if I'm faster than the last defender and I just beat him and I'm open?
Well, then you have to start at the same point as him. Like you can't just take off early, or if that was not a rule, it would just open it up to people just hanging out by the goal, and it would just be a long ball, just kicking it up there and hoping your striker can trap it and shoot. Anyways, what he's introducing is, as long as a body part of the last defender is in line with a body part of the attacker, you're onside, right? So before it was if any of your body was ahead of the defender, your knee, your finger, whatever, you'd be offside. Now you can basically be a full body length ahead of them. If this passes I don't know, if they rule it to be a new rule.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are complaining that soccer doesn't have a lot of goals, things like that, like you just said, which is totally true. And I think if this passes, you won't see the likes of penalty shootouts anymore. But I'd love to see your reaction there. I'd love to see your reaction because you said you liked penalty shootouts. I don't know if you've ever seen the MLS shootouts from like the 70s or something like that.
No, I haven't, no.
I don't know why, but America, we like to be different, Fahrenheit, inches, whatever. I guess we didn't want to do penalties the way Europe was doing them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did them completely different. And so what would happen was the person with the ball basically would start at the halfway point, and you would sprint towards the goal, and it would be like a one-on-one with the keeper. And so the keeper could come off his line, you could go to the side, things like that. But you always had to be moving forward as the attacker.
Okay.
And so there's some pretty epic highlights online of these things because
that
they're
sounds
just so
pretty sick.
Unorthodox,
Yeah. So you'd have your player start in the middle of the field with the ball right at their feet.
Yes.
And then the goalie in the goal, and then it's like the whistle blows, and obviously the attacker, is just driving straight ahead, like dribbling towards the goal, about to try to score, and the goalie has to make the decision whether or not to stay in and protect or just go out and go for it, pretty much.
Yeah, the idea is that the closer you get to the player with the ball, the better chance you have of blocking it because the angle gets slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah, especially if you can only run straight, because the guy with the ball can only go straight, right?
Well, you have some leeway, but I think there was some boundaries. It might have been the 18-yard box.
Okay.
Like you had 18 yards, or it's a little more than 18 yards. But yeah, the idea is that the closer you get to them, the shorter the angle is, but also the less time you have to react, right? And so it's kind of like there's a lot of dynamics to it. So
I mean, that sounds
it's pretty awesome going back and looking at them, and it's kind of funny to think that they were actually a thing because it just really highlights how America likes to be different, I guess.
But now MLS just does PKs if they have to.
MLS does PKs regularly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if because it seems like it could it be injury prone? I don't know. Two dudes running at each other full speed. I
think it was really hard for the keeper to get stops. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it sounds like the keeper's at a huge disadvantage.
Right. Yeah. Because it's easy to just. I mean, I say it's easy to curve the ball, but it is really difficult. But like if you have a lot of time, you can easily curve it around the keeper. It's just a little harder, but it's exciting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and usually the player who's put in that situation by their coach to be that final guy dribbling at the goalie is probably going to be a guy who has the talent to curve the ball. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So our big names. So you got Italy versus England. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, so Italy versus England. Any major, huge names on either of the squads that fair weather fans of soccer like me would know? Like any Neymars, any Messis, any Ronaldos, any David Beckhams on either of those teams or no?
Oh man, you probably wouldn't know any of them, to be honest.
Okay. Now
you may have heard of Harry Kane. Have you heard of Harry Kane?
I have heard of Harry Kane. Yeah,
there you go. Harry Kane's a big one. Honestly, that's probably the only person you've heard of.
Yeah. Now, were there any other big names in the Euro tournament that got knocked out?
Well, I mean, Ronaldo got knocked out.
What team was he on? Sorry, what team was he?
Well, it's a country sport, right? So it's nation. So he's Portuguese.
Portugal. Okay. So Portugal got knocked out before the. Okay, interesting.
Let's see. You remember Eriksson, the guy that we talked about who had the heart failure?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
His team. He hasn't been playing, of course, but his team he's from Denmark. They just got knocked out by England today in the semis.
Okay. And
so it's kind of like this weird time in sports where you're rooting for, Denmark to beat England, but unfortunately they didn't.
So Denmark was the underdog, I take it?
Oh yeah, big time.
So
England got really lucky with the draw because they got a
okay,
really easy side of the bracket.
interesting. Now, what about
They
Italy?
played
Like with
Ukraine.
Italy and England, are either who's more of the underdog?
Ooh, man, that's a good one because they've both been playing well. The thing is England has been playing some easier teams, but I think that England is ranked higher than them. And if you look at the players on the teams, like just in terms of stats and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
how you would rank them in terms of the world, I think England has better players, definitely. But I honestly think Italy's going to win. I'm obviously rooting for Italy, but I think they're going to win because they've been playing just amazing lately. I mean, and they've been so solid in the back, so solid. So
When you say
that's my
solid in the
prediction.
back, does that mean they're defenders?
They defend well.
Okay,
Yeah, they
yeah,
defend
yeah.
really well. I think they only let in two goals this entire tournament from open play. So not set pieces,
Oh.
not PKs, you know.
So
Stuff like that.
they've only allowed 2 regular goals.
I want to say off the top of my head, yes.
Wow, that's pretty good. So we're still doing 11 players, counting the goalie, right, for each team. That's how.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so, do you think it's? I mean, I'm just getting back on the. Is it more?
Just warming you back up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so got
What?
the goalie, you got the. So 3. Wait, I'm trying to think of how everything would. Because I think 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, 3 defenders. That's 9 players plus the goalie, 10th man. So where does the 11th guy go?
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of the game, right? You can line up however you want. Sometimes it's a 4-3-3. Sometimes it's a 2-4-3. No, 2-4-4. Nowadays, it's usually 3 at the back. Then you have these 2 players called wing backs, right back and left back, that are somewhat midfield/defenders. They run a lot. Basically, they're just running up the side of the field to attack and then come back and defend. Attack and come back, defend. It's a brutal position. So usually it's considered 5 at the back, but those 2 players are somewhat midfielders.
Okay.
Then you'd have 2 holding midfielders and then 3 strikers. So 1 in the middle and then 2 on the right, or 2 on the sides.
Does anybody?
But hey, these are the tactics of the game, and what's awesome is like it's really like the lineup when it comes out is important for tactics, right? You could put 4 at the back, 5 at the back. I mean, it's a totally different style of play.
I personally. Does anybody do the 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, 4 defenders?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I think is like if I was just
That's pretty
thrown,
standard, I think.
If I was
It's
just
pretty standard.
suddenly thrown into the position of coaching Italy in the finals, I would. That's how I'd set up my guys.
And you know what? You would do pretty good, Frank. You would. You had those players. And you just told them, listen, we're playing a 3-3-4,
and we're
not.
You guys
changing. Figure it out.
We're locking into that.
You might win. They're that good,
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of that.
As long as you didn't have to train them coming up to it, you'd be fine.
Yeah,
like if you just traded places with the current coach, I think you'd have a good chance of winning.
Okay. Well, shit. This reminds me of it. It's the TV show Ted Lasso. I think I've told you about it.
Oh yeah.
It's oh man, it's a funny show because I gotta say it's impressive that they were able to take a character, the star of the show, Ted Lasso, and make him funny, but also just make him like a good person. Like you know how a lot of the times comedies, the main character or the characters you're watching, they're funny because they're kind of fucked up or immoral and do things that are wrong and not right. That's the great thing about Ted Lasso is that you're watching a dude who's funny and he's always like he's just a sweetheart, he's just he just means so well, but he still ends up being funny. That's why I think it's an impressive comedy show because a lot of the times comedies rely on dark and evil characters to be funny, but this Ted Lasso is he's just a sweetheart and he's still hilarious. And I think that comes from taking an American football coach and throwing him into coaching a sport like soccer.
Well, he's like your evangelicalist American, right?
Mhm.
He's just like that pure-hearted,
Yeah.
actually, lives by it, and it actually is that type of person, and is
Oh,
not
yeah.
some other person.
Big time.
And I think he's more of a life coach than an actual coach, and
He-
that's why
He is.
they
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
they do okay, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I want to watch that show so bad. I wish I had Apple TV, but I don't.
It's a good. Oh, you know what? I got a free. The reason why I was able to watch it is because when I got a new iPhone about a year ago, it was just I opened up the Apple TV app because like new iPhone, it now comes with the Apple TV app, and I remember just like messing around with the new phone, clicking on the app, and as soon as I opened the app, it's like, oh, you want to sign up for a free year? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. That's cool.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, it was a nice little thing. And you know what?
I'll have to check that.
It's a good strategy, I think, when you're trying to like, get more customers and build your user base, is to
Yeah.
have this, free offer right away, and then also not a fat price point, because it's only $4.99 a month. So even though I'm still in my free year, I'm not even really concerned about like canceling it or anything, because $5 a month doesn't really, doesn't feel like a big slap in the face. So it's a good strategy when like you have such a low price point, and then like you just start with the free, because that's how you get everybody into like it kind of becomes
It's a
like
subscription-based model.
yeah, it's like
That's it. Hey, take this for free.
yeah, take this for free, and then you'll start
don't worry,
paying
you'll
for
get
it.
charged one day.
Yeah, you'll get charged one day, but then when you finally get charged, you'll be like, oh, that's not even that much. I'll just keep it. Fuck it.
20 years later, you're 14,000 in debt or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
I ran out of
I'm
money
kidding.
because I didn't cancel my Apple TV.
Yeah. Real quick. Since we gave so much love to the European tournament, there is another tournament going on, Copa America.
Okay.
Now, big names for you, Frank.
Here we go.
The final this Saturday, I believe. I could be wrong. This Saturday, Argentina, Messi versus Brazil, Neymar.
Ooh.
It's going to be epic, dude. It is going to be so freaking cool. I'm so excited for it.
Damn. That's Saturday?
I think that's Saturday, yeah.
Oh,
So Saturday is the Copa America final, and then Sunday is the European final.
Damn, that's a Messi versus
dude.
Neymar. Now that okay.
It's going to be, and you know what's crazy is Messi has never won a major tournament with Argentina. He's won little smaller ones here. He's won one smaller one, I think, but not a major one. Now, this is a major tournament, and this would be huge if Argentina win, but they never have been able to pull it off.
Damn.
Let me check this. Yep, Saturday we got Copa America final, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. Sunday we have European final at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Dude, that's gonna be a serious. What do you? It's a big choice. What are you gonna do? You gonna do the Copa America final, or are you gonna do the McGregor versus Poirier 3?
Well, it starts at oh my god,
Because that's when that's probably when the main card. I mean, when the fights are gonna start.
Usually 5 p.m. to 7 or around 7 p.m.
Yeah,
You're right.
so it's gonna be a big
Well, the main fight usually doesn't start till like 10 p.m.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, this is a good card.
It all depends. I think Sean O'Malley's on the card. I think he is.
Sean O'Malley's on the.
Yeah.
I think he's the first fight on the main card, and then you have Wonder Boy, who's the co-main.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is gonna be great. And who's he playing or who's he facing? I'm gonna look it up right now. Dude, that should be exciting.
Do you have a prediction for the Dustin versus Connor fight?
Dude, I really have no idea, but I know it's going to be awesome. I don't even care if it ends in like 2 seconds. I'm going to be so hyped.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
Oh, I mean, I root for Connor just because the thing about Conor McGregor is he's already become so successful and so wealthy and all that
yeah.
I feel like what keeps him in the sport is winning. I don't
know. Maybe.
Because
he's so big though.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like when you're that big, does it become hard to find the motivation to, train your ass off for a fight? Because you've already established you're waking up in a yacht, you're waking up in a mansion, satin sheets, all that stuff, and it's like, does it then become harder to get out of bed and like put the X amount of hours of training in when you've already like built an empire in a way and become bigger than the sport?
Absolutely.
And
that's why when people get there and they're still that good, it's even more impressive. You know.
And that's what I think is. I think like that's what's would be impressive if he won. If Conor McGregor won, it's because I think there's a difference between being in that position as a fighter and then being in that position as something like a football player or a basketball player or a soccer player, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I know nothing about fighting when it comes to the technicals, you know, like actually knowing things.
Yeah.
But when I think about
we've both made that clear.
Yeah, when I think about two people like really just going at it and almost, you know, putting their lives on the line. Like I think of that like the Israel Adesanya video of like him between rounds, like before the ref, you know, brings him in and tells him to start fighting. Like there's that famous clip of him like saying, "I'm ready to die." Like I'm ready to die. Yeah. So I just think like the fighting when it comes to fighting, there's another level of intensity that makes it harder to be great when you have already established yourself as Conor McGregor has. Because you think about this is the third fight with Dustin, and the first fight Conor wins, but that's kind of early on before he, you know, became as massive.
That's when he was unstoppable.
Exactly. And then you fast forward. The second fight was very recent, and I remember watching the second fight, and I remember thinking that, okay, this feels like this is just Dustin like just being tougher and like just wanting it more in a sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I think it's like that. But that's what's great about Conor. Now every fight he takes, it's going to be that question, you know.
Yeah, and his personality has changed too over the past fight. I mean, he's a nice guy, which is crazy, which is like the weirdest thing, is he wasn't talking that much smack.
Yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat him up, mate. What do you want me to say?"
Yeah,
you know, stuff like that. But at the same time, he's like shaking his hand and like being like, "Oh, good mate, good man, whatever," you know, however he did it. And that's different. And it's like, do you think obviously that has an effect on the other fighters, right? Because I mean, Conor McGregor used to talk smack like no tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And I know for a fact if I was on the receiving end of that, that shit would affect me, you know? I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are. You could be, I mean, as he proved, you can be literally the best in the world with Jose Aldo and something Alvarez and beat them, you know? And beat them by a lot. And so it doesn't matter. You're ranked number 1, you're the best in the world. Someone's talking smack to you like that, it affects you. Okay, I got the information. So event is at 7 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
Dustin Poirier is ranked number 1, which is behind the champion, Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
So he's ranked number 1 for lightweight. And then Conor McGregor is now 5. Can you believe that? He's now ranked 5th. So it's going to be a crazy fight, man.
So
and then
if Conor wins, he'll probably get a title shot against Olivier, probably. I would assume.
Probably.
Whoever wins this fight, I'm assuming gets the title shot against him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope so. I hope for his sake. I mean, he's ranked number 1, so like that's the fight, you know.
Yeah.
If he hasn't been challenged, excuse me. I guess Conor's number 5. If Dustin wins, he definitely should, I think. If Conor wins, I don't know. I think he's got to beat one more person. That's what I think.
But then I understand what you. That makes sense when you just.
For the money.
But for the money,
when the money factors in,
yeah,
it's all up in the air.
Exactly.
I don't know, you know?
Yeah, that's the one thing that like, because if he was just any 5th seed, like if he wasn't Conor McGregor and he was the 5th ranked fighter, and he won, I would probably say, okay, yeah, he probably maybe needs one more fight to, you know, get the championship challenge. But since it's Conor McGregor, if he wins this, I think there'll be some people out there, because I'm pretty sure Dustin, like you said, so since he's won, he has to be the Vegas favorite. So
like that's next if he wins this fight.
Yeah,
that's
so
what I think.
You know, if
No
Conor
doubt.
ends up winning as an underdog, I see Dana White immediately thinking, "Oh man, title fight with Conor after him beating Dustin. That's going to be that'd be a big one, you know."
It would. I mean, anything with Conor now is big.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, the sport has gotten so big that other fights are also huge.
Yeah.
Like
true.
the Usman versus Gilbert Burns. That was a big one. The Colby Covington versus Usman was huge as well. So,
Who's O'Malley fighting?
Let me check. I don't know. Oh, but Wonderboy is fighting Gilbert Burns, so that should be a really good one too.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. UFC 264.
Do they just count up? I've always wondered, like, how do they do the number? Does it just they just go
They
one
have
up?
different types of events. They've got UFC, then they've got Fight Night, then they've got a Fight Island
Yeah.
that they were doing for a while. I don't know if they're still doing it, but so yeah. Sean O'Malley is fighting Chris Matinho, who I have not heard of.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him either. No. Okay. Well,
and they don't give him a photo, which is
wow. No wonder we haven't heard of him.
Look him up. Let me see. Yeah, Matinho. I had a player that I used to play with named Matinho, and he was so good, dude. That last name, I feel like it just gives you powers.
Yeah.
Matinho. Nope, never seen him before.
Okay.
But Sean O'Malley should. It's always going to be entertaining, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I like fighters who do really well, and then they don't even look like. This sounds like a diss to Sugar Sean O'Malley. It's really not, but
they look like you.
Exactly,
is what you're
like
trying to say.
Exactly, like really.
No,
though,
seriously. I mean, Sean O'Malley, like you've got his body type.
Like he doesn't.
If you gain 10 pounds of muscle, you'd have his body.
Yeah,
not to be rude, but I mean,
that's what I love. I just love to see fighters that come off as like, oh, that just looks kind of like a normal dude who's like, in the ring, but then he just, throws a haymaker and knocks a dude out. It's like, oh my god.
Actually, you have Sean O'Malley's body type at like weigh-ins. I'll give you that. Like if you got extreme tats all over your body, and you just,
and dyed my hair rainbow.
I don't know if anyone would notice that much, Like, there might be a few internet warriors that are like, that's fake. But most people wouldn't notice.
Yeah. No. Do you think how much, oh, man, I always wonder, like, how much weight do you think a fighter gains from the weigh-in to the night of the fight, like being in the ring?
Oh, dude. I mean, it depends. It depends per fighter, but I'm guessing it's easily 7 pounds. Easily. Like, no doubt 7 pounds.
How do they do that? Like how do they... It's
a lot of it's water.
Yeah.
A lot of it's water. I don't know. They train their body, dude. Some people dedicate their life to this. Like, there's nutritionists that are like, okay, you're going to not eat this. You're going to train your body. And, I mean, they got it down to a science. I mean, they know how your body's going to react. And they're like, okay, boom. You're off the scale. You're going to eat this, 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 and you're going to do this, this, and this. And here's some supplements. Boom, boom, boom. And then you're like a balloon, dude, or a sponge, rather.
Yep.
Not that I'm an expert, but hey.
Speaking about injuries, man.
What?
The Suns won Game 1 of the finals.
Are we not going to talk about it?
The Suns won Game 1 of the finals, and man, it was a good
what
win.
A game, dude. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was a good win for sure.
And Chris Paul,
they were coming back.
Yeah, they were. They were trying to make a little run in the fourth
within
there.
6 at one point.
Yeah,
within 6 with like 7 minutes left, something like that.
Yeah, and Chris Paul just said, "Nope." Man, he has scored.
He is really proving himself.
He has scored 70 points. He scored over 70 points in the last 2 games, and
he's the man. He's the man.
He was doing an interview with the courtside reporter after the game, and she asks him about his wrist, because he was talking about having some, torn ligaments in his wrist when he beat the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. And then, Game 1 of the finals ends, and she's like, "Oh, what about that wrist?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then that was just the end of the interview. And she was like, "Oh, thanks, Chris." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, he played dumb. And I love it because it's like, I know this is
it for him.
This is it.
This
this is his shot right here. And I said last week about, like, I've been, reading comments and seeing everybody's going to say, they only won because of injuries. Yeah, but
no,
it's
legit. It's legit.
It doesn't matter, you win, you win, Injuries are part of the game, and I understand that argument of the Suns are only here because of injuries. And that's that's exactly why the Suns understand why they need to win this series, because
but
they know this is like a shot, like the Red Sea has parted. The Red Sea has parted,
yeah.
and
But things always have to align for every team. Always. It doesn't matter.
exactly
Plus,
things always have to
the
align.
The Suns beat every team pretty confidently, right?
Yeah,
I mean, besides the Lakers, who won 2, and that was
the
it.
Clippers also won 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then
So
by 2 games, I mean, that's pretty confidently,
I mean, they're 13-4 so far in the playoffs, and yeah, oh man,
I think they're doing it, dude.
Dude,
I mean, not to jinx it.
yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to jinx it either, but I think there's something to be said about Giannis coming back from that hyperextended knee. First of all, my hat's off to him.
He didn't,
because he
didn't play amazing.
He didn't play
played
amazing,
good, right?
but he still looked like a player who hadn't just hyperextended his knee a week ago.
Yeah.
He's kind of built like a freaking Terminator if he's able to come back. Like, I don't know if you've seen the still image of his
Telling
knee
you.
going back of that injury. It's gnarly. It is. And the fact that he's just back playing is just like, I gotta tip my hat to him. But at the same time, I gotta say, Giannis, I'm gonna be in the unpopular opinion here probably, but I think in a way the Bucks are kind of a little bit better without him. I know that sounds ridiculous to say. I only say that because Brook Lopez is really good, and he plays better when Giannis isn't on the court, and kind of vice versa for Giannis. Like, I think Giannis plays better when Brook isn't on the court.
Middleton plays really well too.
And Middleton plays really well when
say.
it's because they took out Brook Lopez in the fourth quarter. Like, Brook Lopez barely played in the fourth quarter of Game 1 last night, and I think it's because of the Giannis factor of like, okay, Giannis is our star, and we don't want to clog the lane with a giant body like Brook Lopez, so we take him out of the game. But in a way that kind of throws things off, because I think the Bucks' best advantage right now is their size, because they're bigger.
Yeah.
They're bigger than the Suns, and if they really emphasize their size, I think this series gets a lot tighter. So I'm really interested to see what the Bucks head coach, Mike Budenholzer, does. Does he realize that he has giants on his team and the Suns don't have giants? Like Dario Saric, the Suns' backup center, tore his ACL in Game 1. He's out. He's done. So now we have DeAndre Ayton, and then we have Frank Kaminsky as our backup. And honestly, I'm not even super upset about Dario Saric tearing his ACL.
Doesn't Crowder play center sometimes too?
I mean, if we went small, Crowder would be center, but Crowder's like 6'7", 6'8", so it's like that's kind of pushing it to be center. But I will say though that
that's insane. Like, that's freaking tall.
yeah, but then
that's crazy.
That's super tall, but it's like it's not center tall, because center tall should be 6'10" to 7 feet ish, and that's why I feel bad for Dario Saric, because he's a member of my favorite team. But like, if I had to pick a player to be out for the series, it is him. Like, I've been watching a lot of.
Now you're jinxing it, man.
I know now I am.
Your
I
tone
really am
right
jinxing
now,
it.
dude.
I am jinxing it for sure. I'm just
Watch
banking
Sarge
on the
get
fact
40.
that Dario is not listening to this podcast right now. He'd be like, a Suns fan is
Local
talking
Suns
shit
fan.
on me.
Yeah, local Suns fan trashes Sarge.
But Frank Kaminsky is our backup, and I think he's an Wisconsin, my bad. Excuse me, I got the Reds mixed up. He was a Wisconsin Badger superstar back when he played in college, and he was a big deal in the March Madness, and he's kind of he's sort of fallen under and into the average big men category once he made it to the NBA. But
hey, that's okay when you're in the NBA.
Exactly, it's okay. But that's why I'm not even too bummed about this whole Sarge injury, because I'm like, okay, well, we got Frank who's going to step up. And I've seen plenty of games where Frank has played, and he's hit big threes, and he's technically, I think, a little bit bigger than Sarge in terms of height. So really, I think nothing changes in terms of what this means for us. And now I just got to hope that me talking smack about how Dario doesn't really matter doesn't reflect on another key player getting injured.
We'll see next game, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, dude. Game 2.
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what I love about the Suns now is, like, there was this specific play in last night's game. Last night? Yeah, last night.
Last night, yeah.
There was a specific play where I can't remember who had the ball. I think it was Ayton, and Booker was open. Booker was open, and he asked for the ball, and then DeAndre passed it to someone else, and they scored, and Booker's like, yeah. That would have never happened, I think, like last season or a season ago. Like, it was just Devin Booker was the team,
Yeah,
you know?
true.
And I just remember seeing that play, and I was like, whoa, like, the Suns are freaking good, you know? Like, they are really good.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. We. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm really thinking about, driving to Phoenix and trying to, like, be outside of their arena and be a part of that celebration. Because when it comes to the playoffs, not only do you have all the fans in the arena, but you have like the little outside area right outside the stadium.
get an Airbnb, dude, something like that.
It's almost like a music festival for sports. If you're not in the stadium itself, you're like standing outside the stadium in that fenced off area, and you're watching the game on the big screen.
How fast can you get to Arizona?
It's
3 hours?
It's a 5-ish 6 hour drive, I think.
Well, I shouldn't say Arizona. Phoenix is pretty far, right?
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. But
yeah, but you'd have to take a guess. Like, you'd have to be like, all right, Suns are winning on this game.
See, that's what's so that
you go out there and they don't win. Like, let's say they're 3-1 up or something like that.
Yeah.
You go out there and they don't win, and you're like, God dang it.
Yeah, so it's 6 hours and it's 382 miles. So I'm thinking, if the way I see myself going out there is pretty much if the Bucks win. If the Bucks, I mean, not the series, but win a game. Because
you think they're gonna bounce back, basically. Like, they're not gonna let them win too.
The Suns, I feel like if the Bucks don't make the correct adjustments, the Suns can sweep them.
Okay.
And the Suns sweeping the Bucks is pretty much the scenario where I don't go to Phoenix, just with the way the timing is, because Game 2 is tomorrow in Phoenix, and then you're gonna have games 3 and 4 both being in Milwaukee. So with the timing and the dates, and like going out there during a weekend when free and stuff, and I just
I get you.
Yeah, I think the Bucks need to win a game in order for me to. So it's kind of a plus. You got a win-win in a way. If the Bucks win a game in the series, then
you get the opportunity.
Then I get the opportunity to go out to Phoenix and like be out there in the environment for a game. And then if the Suns sweep, then oh my God, the Suns sweep, and we're champions like that. So either way, either way, it's awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. And I can't even describe the feeling of like I broke down into tears when we beat the Clippers and we made it to the finals. Like, I swear to God, I started crying. Like, you can ask Sam and Scott. They watched. I think they recorded it on video too. But so I mean, the waterworks are going to be real when the championship happens, because when you attach yourself to a team like the Suns or the Chargers, it's tough. I liked hitching my wagon to both teams, because it's like, okay, this is cool because they've never won a championship, and I can like witness history and have it. And I didn't expect the Suns to be.
Well, the Suns have won a championship.
No, they haven't.
But
They never won.
Way back.
They never won. They never won a championship.
Never won.
Nope, never won a championship.
They've been to the finals though.
Last time they were in the finals was 1993.
There we go.
And it was Charles Barkley on the Suns versus Michael Jordan on the Bulls, and Jordan went undefeated in the finals. So obviously the Suns didn't win the finals. So yeah, no championships for the Suns. So that's what makes this like really wild, because like being a Suns fan for the last 10 years, I've really thought like it's always been like a question mark of like, oh, when are we gonna have a shot? And it's like this shot came, and it's like it's here now, and it's like it's just mind blowing, and I couldn't be more psyched. It's fucking awesome.
Sick, bro. It is absolutely sick. I'm rooting for the Suns.
Yeah.
Let's do this, man.
Let's do this. All right.
Because I'm not buying a Western Conference Finals hat.
No.
No way.
And also, how cool.
But if they lose, I'm getting you one. All right?
I'd wear it. But how cool would it be to win the championship in a year like this? Because I love when a number's cool, because 2021. Because it's just.
Yeah.
It's in a row, like
it
2020.
Flows. Yeah.
It's like counting, like 1, 2, 3,
It'd be
4.
a nice flag.
It looks so cool. Oh. All right, Ryan, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, buddy.
Okay, well, here's to a good Skype episode with some technical difficulties at the beginning. Episode
Yeah,
78.
absolutely.
Thanks for listening, subscribing, all that stuff. We love you. Cheers.
Cheers. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.